So let's start again. So this guy, Harshad Mehta, he was a sort of a sensation in India because he actually gamed the system, quote unquote, and then he went to jail for a long time. The reason that he went to jail for a long time, actually, it's controversial in many different ways due to a lot of different things. And that's because what he was doing was essentially not illegal per se, but yes, technically it was illegal because he was betting a lot of money and exploiting market gaps in rules and regulations and betting money that he basically didn't have. And so finally what did him in was putting money into investments that he had taken for a different purpose. So that is actually what got him in. But if you look at his chart, forget about all of the details. This is basically the chart of an individual who made it quite big by finding gaps in the system. That is how you should look at this individual. Okay. And then I think finally he died of a heart attack. And the interesting thing is that I think he died of a heart attack at the age of 48. Okay. So I'm going to open up his chart here. This is his chart. As you see, the calculations that I use sort of separated. There are some differences that do come about. But if you look at it from this perspective, this Mars Rahu is still together, right? Now, what we're trying to do here today is we're trying to work with the nodes. That doesn't mean we won't look at other things, but we'll try to look at the nodes, understand what's happening. What is leading this guy to do what he did? Okay. And why and how does coaching help in developing this energy? So, first of all, he was very fond of the fast life. He was actually very fond of fast cars as well. He had luxury cars before anybody had the concept of luxury cars in India. Because at that time, India was, I think this was before the reforms that came about in 1991, the new economic policy and all of that. So before that, India was largely a protectionist economy in the sense that we didn't trade with the other countries quite a bit. And there wasn't liberalization, privatization, globalization. It was to quite an extent a very socialist sort of setup that we were in. So at that time, for somebody to make the kind of money that he was making and to have the kind of cars, etc., that he had and the assets that he had was a big deal. He was making the markets move in a big way, right? What we're trying to understand is number one, what led him in that direction, and number two, what led to his downfall. So what led him in that direction, if you look at Rahu in the fourth house in Purvashada Nakshatra, it is very clear that he was primarily drawn to build great assets, conveniences. That's the fourth house. Purvashada is the house of luxury, it's the house of beauty, it's the house of reinvigoration, rejuvenation, sports persons, famous persons, artists, all of that you can see through Purvashada Nakshatra, right? And you see that for him is placed in the fourth house. This may not be the exact, what you say, timings, but I have used these calculations before, I remember. So, to quite an extent, this can be considered all right. That's one thing. Rahun Purvashada. Then you look at another thing here. You look at Mars retrograde. This Mars retrograde in Mula tells us of an energy, tells us of an approach where this individual is, you know, eh, he he wants to get there fast. He's very effort oriented. I want this, there's a very strong element of being fearless and dynamic with respect to trying to get what he wants, right? Now you put Rahu and Mars together in the fourth. What does that tell you?
Really sorry to interrupt your video, guys, but a lot of you keep asking me how you can learn Vedic astrology from me the way that I practice it in conjunction with life coaching techniques like NLP and CBT and psychology how do I exactly practice this astro life coaching? If you guys are interested, admissions are currently open for the upcoming December batch of the ALC Practitioner Program. We've had great success with 2 batches up till now. This is going to be the 3rd, and I'm very happy to take you on and deliver the best value that I can. It's 40-50 hours of live classes and doubt classes and sessions. It's very interactive, including our own exclusive WhatsApp group. There are participants from around the globe, and I ensure, in fact, that we have as diverse a class as possible each time. Okay, so if you've just been thinking that I want to get into something that enables me to teach, that enables me to coach, but I really don't know where to start, this program is great for you. It's a strong foundation in holistic life coaching with a lot of allied life coaching techniques that pour into it, augment it. And so if you're a coach already, or if you're a psychologist already, this can be a great asset to your arsenal. Please go back to enjoying your video. If you want to apply to this program, the link is given in the description box. See you on the other side. Adios.
Anybody wants to take that shot? You see Rahu Mars together, Rahu conjunct Mars retrograde in the 4th. What does that tell you about his soul's journey and his desire? Very interesting. Why do you say that?
And
Right, right. And there's one more thing. Is that the 4th house, Mars does not do really well in the 4th house. It's a Mangalic position, right? Mars is well on this side of the chart, on the 9th, 10th, 11th. You saw that lecture that I shared with you guys, right? 9th, 10th, 11th. Mars is good on this side of the chart. This side of the chart, Mars is good only in the 3rd. So maybe from here, we can look at it here, but for all practical purposes, this is where Mars comes in. So this is not the best placement because Mars in the 4th house can make a person very controlling. And that is actually what happened. He was working with banks quite a bit, asking banks for money and putting the bankers in a very difficult position. Ultimately, that is what led to his downfall. Okay. That is how he was going about. Yes. Somebody wants to say something? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Definitely can be that. Definitely. This is retrograde. That means Mars is strong. Mars is connected with Rahu. That means, my God, is it amplified? It's like, I want this yesterday. That's the kind of energy that's there. And then Mars is conjunct with Rahu, and then Mars is retrograde, means not only do I want this yesterday, I have it and I'm going to show it to the world. That's a recipe. Even so, if you actually study him, there's a movie been made on him. Uh, there's a series also that's been made on him on Netflix. You can check it out. Scam 1992. That's the name of the series. The movie was Big Bull by Abhishek Bachchan. You can watch Scam. It's up to you, but whatever time you have. It's just becoming very reckless that got him in the end. He was playing by the loopholes in the beginning, and then he suddenly became careless. As long as you're playing by loopholes, right? Accountants play with loopholes, lawyers play with loopholes. But when you become careless and when you become reckless, that's when everybody wants to bring you down. And actually, a lot of rules were changed. After his scams, etc., scams, so to speak, were exposed, and a lot of regulations were changed also to sort of net him. So that is what led to his ultimate falling out. Yes, that is what got him down. Because Punarvasu is a good nakshatra. It's the nakshatra of the Boy Scout, the schoolboy, Lord Ram. Punarvasu is not the nakshatra. If you have Punarvasu prominent, there is no way that you should get into anything that is illegal. Because Punarvasu is not supportive of that at all. If Punarvasu is blessed with abilities where you can take a struggling company and turn it around, where you can take a struggling business and turn it around. But if you go into something that's illegal, or something that, involves a lot of violence and, um, coloring outside the lines, it always comes back to you like a boomerang. And so if you look at it, there's something very interesting here. All of his antics actually led to the making great again, making better again of the stock market. Major regulatory changes came about as a result of his actions, right? That was the aftermath. So you look at this Ketu here, Ketu's in Punarvasu. You look at Jupiter here, it's in Punarvasu, Makri here in Punarvasu, Moon here in Punarvasu, all of these here. So in light of what we discussed, how Ketu follows Rahu, right? Can anybody tell me what exactly is Ketu doing here, conjunct all of these planets? What is the following like happening here, basically? Rahu conjunct Mars in Mula and Purvashada being aligned towards achieving notoriety and assets and all of that and power. So what is Ketu doing following that? What is Ketu providing him? Right, right. True. That is true as well. And you look at Jupiter Mercury conjunct he with the moon with Ketu and Punarvasu, there was a natural talent also he had of predicting movements, in the market. And he was able to leverage them in a big way to make big profits and make big gains, right? So that is something that we see here as well.